yourself with Owen in the ring. You had one of the, to me, in my lifetime, one of the great rivalries throughout, well, the tail end of '93 all the way through 1994. Was there any serious talk then of you dropping the title to Owen at any point?
I don't think so. It would have been something I would have been happy to do. In those days, I think I was just happy to get the title, period. You know, there's always a lot of things, like when I won the title, they told me, Vince McMahon had told me that I would be champion for a long time. Like they're talking like maybe 7 or 8 or 9 years being champion. And they wanted to keep the belt on me long term. Like the old days, like when guys like Bruno and Bob Backlund got the title, and they said, you're just gonna hold the championship for a long time, and you don't have to worry about your position, or you don't have to worry about anything. You're like totally the company guy now for the next. We're looking like long term. Like, so it was always reassuring. And then, of course, 3 months later, they took the title away from me, which is where you get this sort of, you never know what's going to happen. You know, you never, as relaxed and confident as you can be about something, you just never know when they're going to pull the rug out from underneath you. And so, I mean, I would love to have thought about dropping the title to certain guys, but whenever I lost the title, I was always so, because the thing that, it's not so clear today, because we have these contracts and everything today, but back in when I won the title, the highest paid wrestler on the card was the guy that was the champion. It was the highest paid guy in the company. And so when you win the title, it becomes very real. Like the money is very real, and suddenly you're making more money than you ever made in your career before. And then when they walk in and go, oh, we're going to make Yokozuna the champion, or Hulk Hogan's going to take the belt, or whatever it is. It's like when people say is wrestling real, it's like, yeah, it becomes really real, really fast. But especially when you're going, I know I'm pulling the wagon here. I'm at the front of the wagon and I'm pulling it the hardest. And you're going to hand, my spot to Hulk Hogan, who's already been here and done all that. And it's very frustrating for you to lose your position to a guy that then he drops the belt to Yokozuna, and it's like, so you finally kind of going to yourself like, how did I get pushed out of the circle? And when things go, that's what I always thought I was in WWE, I was the utility guy. When things started to go, they was like, oh, quick, get Bret Hart again. It's like I was always the guy that stopped it from going down. And I say that like when I first won the title, and then when basically I lost the belt to Yokozuna, who lost it to Hulk Hogan in about 5 seconds in the most stupidest finish, maybe WCW style ending that WWE ever did. But and then after Hulk Hogan, it was like they went and painted over the pink and white and black and painted over with red and yellow, and it's like 5 months later, the pink and white and black is back. It's the strongest color again, and it's like quick, Lex Luger, red, white, and blue, and it's like that, and it's like that didn't work either. And all of a sudden it's pink and black again, and it's like quick, Bret Hart again, and then they put me back in, and then it's like quick, he's gonna lose to Kevin Nash, and it's the black and silver, and it's the Kevin Nash show, and lo and behold, when he fails as champion, and it's like quick, get Bret Hart again, and then it was like Shawn Michaels, which Shawn I think was a great wrestler, he was a great talent, and so Shawn was the kind of guy that took the torch from there, which was always, I never had a problem with that. I was always trying to, what I did with Shawn was try to spark our storyline into people thinking we really hated each other. And unfortunately, it kind of turned into we really hated each other. But we would have drawn money. If you'd done everything I had sort of laid the groundwork for, the truth is we would have done big business together. And it's just too bad that we ended up with such hard feelings at the time.
I've got a million questions for you, Bret, but it's all right, we open it up to you guys. If you've got any questions for Bret, I should just add that there'll be a microphone coming around from one of our crew, just because of code regulations, restrictions. Try not to grab the microphone, the member of crew will hold it for you, and then ask you questions. So if you've got a question for Bret, pop up your hand. There's a chap in the front row, 2 people in the front row. Well, I see where my mic is, actually. Anyone? Oh, they've gone that way. Right, okay, sorry. Person at the back there. We'll get to you.
Hi, Bret. Just something you touched on earlier about people you haven't wrestled and didn't get a chance to wrestle. Is there anybody from your era that you didn't have wrestled that you think would have been money, as you say, with Shawn Michaels? And looking at the current era, is there anybody you'd like to still work with? For me personally, if you're in your prime, I'd love to see you with AJ Styles or something like that. Just what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I have a whole slew of guys I think about I'd love to have worked with. Current guys and guys from my era. You know, guys that were right on the fringe of my era anyway. Like, I would love to have worked with Kurt Angle. I think we would have had we could have had a great story. Like, very, you know, I wonder if like babyface or heel. You know, Kurt Angle, like who would be which? You know, because he was a good heel and he was a good babyface, whereas I was a good heel and a good babyface. But I think you could go either way with Kurt Angle. Say, I would love to have wrestled Brock Lesnar. I'd love to have wrestled Edge. Probably the first guy that comes to my mind, a great match would be that I never got to have, that I truly wish I could have, would be Rey Mysterio. And I just wish, even in WCW, that they would have let me wrestle Rey Mysterio. We would have had such great matches. You know, then you could move up to the, you know, like CM Punk would have been one of my first go-to guys if someone could, in a dream match kind of scenario. Daniel Bryan is such a great wrestler. I mean, I would love to have worked with him. He's always reminded me a lot of my brother Owen in his style, and it just would have been a great story to tell something with him. AJ Styles is one of my favorite wrestlers today, and Roman Reigns would be, I think, somebody that maybe above and beyond all the wrestlers I can think of. Like, there's so many guys that would have been fun to work with, but Roman Reigns, I think, understood my style the best, and I think him and I would have really done some great stuff together if we could have. I know there's a few more. I think maybe that's the top of the list right there. I know I'm going to forget somebody from my past that I wish I could have worked with. Edge would be another one. Randy Orton would be a fun guy to work with. And you know, I think would have been a really fun match. And when I imagine it in my head, and I think you could probably do the same thing. Bret Hart, bad guy, 1997, USA and all that kind of stuff, against John Cena. Would have been a great storyline. You know, John Cena, and I think watching John Cena over the years and sort of remembering how I was in 1997 with that USA stuff, and would have just been a great story. You know, would have been some great television. So I mean, you know, you really could throw the dart at the wall. There's so many different guys I could have worked with and told great stories with, and probably would have told all these kind of stories. As I think if that klutz Bill Goldberg hadn't kicked me in the head, you know, I had a lot of great matches left in me. I could have probably wrestled up until, you know, at least maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago. I would have probably quit in my early 50s. But I could have worked with a lot of guys that and had great matches. Yeah, I never got hurt, really got hurt in wrestling ever until I wrestled Bill Goldberg. So this guy ended my career in one match. So now there's a guy that hurt everybody he ever worked with. So in contrast to me, never hurt anybody that I ever worked with. It's like there's different qualities to different wrestlers.